This section has 15 pages of different black line masters in which you can make manipulatives, charts, flip books, different tools that we utilize during all the different steps that we walk the children through as they were learning how to write informative explanatory writing. What I'm going to do, because there are so many tools, is I'm going to show you how I prepare them and how I organize them so that you can grab those tools quickly when you're instructing your students. I wanted to organize my tools the way we show the students how informative explanatory writing is always going to have the same 3 parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So what I did was I organized all the tools into 3 file folders. As you can see, I put a little stick person at the front, and then I have 3 file folders here in this little holder so that I can grab the file for the introduction, body, or conclusion, depending on what I'm teaching. This picture of the stick person, I just put on a piece of tag board, the stick person as that visual reference of introduction, body, conclusion. The first file folder, of course, is the introduction. And the tools for the introduction are going to be tools for hooks and tools for the big idea, which we call the topic sentence when we're writing paragraphs, or a thesis statement when we're writing multiple paragraphs, an essay. In the pocket, I have flip book for the hooks. Here I have the manipulatives to create a big idea. We will go through this in detail in a moment. I just want to show you each chart. Our next file folder is for the body. This file folder has many different pockets inside because there are so many tools that I have for the body. You can purchase this type of file folder with 8 pockets and comb binding already assembled at any office supply store. Let's look at what tools we have inside for our body. We have our organizers. We have how to write main ideas and details. We have advanced main ideas, transitions, and graphics. Let's look inside at each one. First, we have choose a file folder. I have 2 different tools here that you can choose from. Our next pocket is to write your main idea sentences and the supporting detail sentences for each one of your paragraphs in the body of your essay. I have tools that help us begin our main idea sentences. Then we have a selection to write those supporting details in our main idea paragraphs. I also have advanced main idea sentences I turned into a flip book. This pulls their writing up to an even higher level with these more high quality and sophisticated paragraph transitions. Finally, we have our last 2 pockets, and that is for transitions and for graphics. Let's look at our conclusion file folder. In our conclusion, we'll write a conclusion and add a snappy ending. Inside of my conclusion file folder, I have my 2 cards to write my conclusion. These cards are laminated, as well as a magnet is adhered to the back side of them so that I can put them up on a whiteboard or a magnet board to display for the students as we're writing our conclusion. You've seen all the file folders. Let's go to the informative explanatory writing tools section in your manual so that we can get all the black line masters and put them together to create this system that I've just shown you. When we open up our file folder, you'll see we'll look at the hooks first. On this page, we are focusing on our hooks. I have it as a step-by-step, step 1, step 2, step 3 system. What you will do on this black line master is you can cut out all of these different stems that I have here on this page, and you will see there are 6 different categories of stems for you to use for children to start their hooks. You then can take those stems and mount them in a little flip book. You would just flip open a page, show a set of stems. All of these different types of stems that could start hooks would be put on a page in this flip book so that you could display them under your document viewer, or for students to just take as a manipulative for them to use to create their own hooks. I also have another tool for hooks. I've mounted that tool on a chart. This chart has been taken from the top of this black line master on this page and mounted on tag board. And these are just the different types of hooks students could use. Questions, onomatopoeia, interesting fact, humor, an emotional statement. These are the types of hooks that students could start their paper with. In our introduction, we covered our hooks. Next, I have my big idea tools. As you can see, these tools are going to be manipulatives that you will use to form your big idea. Notice I have our big idea secret formula. Each part of that formula is on one card. There's 3 pages to create these manipulatives. After I cut out the cards, mount them on tag board, I laminate them, and then I put magnets on the back so that I can record information on each card and I can put them up on a whiteboard and move them around to create the topic sentence. You will find the setting card, you will find the subject card, and finally you will find the big idea card. These are all our manipulatives for our introduction. Prepare all your manipulatives, put them inside the pockets. When you're teaching the introduction, you can easily grab the pocket folder, grab the tools that you need to, and then put them back so that you can find them later. It's a handy way for you to organize your tools at the introduction level. Here's our body file folder. First, let's go to the Choose the Organizer. I'm showing you the 2 tools here that I can use for choosing an organizer. Let's look at this first one. I want to caution you, you don't need to make both of these. You could just choose one of these ways that you can show your children how to choose an organizer. I'm showing you a couple of tools here, and you can decide which one you think would work best for your students. Let's start with our first tool here. Here's our Get Organized, Use the Hand Signs booklet. You would duplicate all these pages back to back, staple them together, and now you have a handy resource for you to show your children which organizer they need to use with the hand sign that helps them fill out that organizer, all in one simple booklet. This booklet has the hand signs as well as the organizers for all 6 organizers in our informative explanatory writing stages. In our section of Choose an Organizer, I just showed you the booklet, the flip booklet that you could make easily. I'm going to show you another booklet that I created. This organizational tool is going to show all 6 organizers on 2 pages with the transitions, with the hand signs, keywords, and explain what the different text structures are for these organizers. Then you flip the page and it shows just the organizers with the hand signs on 2 pages. So what you're getting here in this instructional tool is basically for the children to always see every organizer. This is put together with 2 file folders. I glued them together so that when you open them up, you have facing pages, and then when you open up the next set of file folders, you have 2 facing pages. So the first 2 pages have the organizers on them, and it's small with a lot of information. The second 2 pages have the 6 organizers, but now they're large with the hand signs. The whole idea here is for kids to see them all together. Here you will find the first 2 pages of our organizational tool. Notice you will see that it will give you a definition. Like here we have the text structure, categories, and it gives you a definition. It gives you keywords that you would find many times when you're using a category organizer. Then it shows you the body of that organizer and the quick hand sign. You will then see for description, for sequencing, on the facing page, cause and effect, compare, contrast. It has the same exact information for those types of organizers. I like to use these 2 pages that I'm showing you more as a teacher reference so that I have the definitions, I have some keywords, I have a quick, at-a-glance, detailed information of all 6 charts. These are the 2 pages that you can use with your students to choose the correct organizer and have the hand signs in order to fill them out. Remember, this type of format is so that your students can see all 6 organizers at one time and figure out which one to select. then see the organizer and the hand sign to use in order to fill it out. Let's go to the manual so we can see this up close. You will see the 2 pages that you will put together in order to display all 6 organizers. Notice you have the organizer name, you have a quick definition, the hand sign, and what the organizer would look like. And in this case, it's not just the body, it also includes the introduction and the conclusion, so they see what the entire organizer looks like. This is what you would show to your students so that they could choose the correct organizer, have the hand sign for them to use for that type of writing. Our next pocket is to write your main idea sentences and the supporting detail sentences for each one of your paragraphs in the body of your essay. I have tools that help us begin our main idea sentences. So when we're starting each one of our paragraphs in the body of our essay, I have 2 different ways that we can start those sentences. Then we have a selection to write those supporting details in our main idea paragraphs. I also have advanced main idea sentences I turned into a flip book so that students could open and flip to different types of main idea sentences so that they have more choices of different ways they can begin the paragraphs in the body of their essay. This pulls their writing up to an even higher level with these more high quality and sophisticated paragraph transitions. Finally, we have our last 2 pockets, and that is for transitions and for graphics. Notice in this pocket, I have cards. What I've done is I've taken the different types of transitions depending on the type of organizer, categories, sequencing, cause and effect, descriptions, and I have these mounted on cards. So depending on the type of organizer students are using, I can pull those transition words that work best with the specific types of organizers for students to use as a resource when they need to smoothly transition one sentence to another. You will find the black line masters from which I made those cards. Notice you could use this just as one full page to look at all these transitions at one time. Or you can do what I did where I cut them up into different sections and made them in cards so the students would grab the card that they need for the type of organizer. So if they were writing with the categories organizer, they would grab this categories card with just those types of words that would transition sentences in a categories organizer. You can also make a wall chart for your students to use as a reference for transitions, taking these same exact words and putting them on a wall chart. In this case, I have a category section, a sequencing section, and description section. Depending on the organizer, category, sequence, or description, they would look at this wall chart for different transition words that they could use in their writing. And for graphics, I have 2 pages that display the different types of visuals students select from to insert into their writing to help their reader understand their information at a deeper level. Inside of my conclusion file folder, I have my 2 cards to write my conclusion. I have my subject and big idea. So that I can repeat my topic sentence using different words, I can use my matching cards in order to write a conclusion. The reason why you want to use these cards is because you can take the subject and big idea that you formed in your topic sentence, then add a second set of these cards right below that so that you can actually show the kids, up here was our subject in our topic sentence, let's now add a subject in our conclusion. What's another way that we can say that subject? Here's our big idea that we had in our topic sentence. Let's add a big idea in our conclusion and figure out another way that we could say that big idea. These are wonderful manipulatives not only for you to form a conclusion, but also for you to match up with the S light bulb in the topic sentence. We formed our conclusion. Finally, we need our snappy ending tools. For our snappy ending, I actually have a flip book and a snappy ending chart card. For the flip book, this is our snappy endings page where I actually have steps 1 and 2 of how to write a snappy ending. But what I want to show you in order to make the tool, I have stem words or frames that students can use. And I have 6 different types of stem words or frames that students can use that I suggest you could cut out and then mount on different pages and put in a flip book. And the reason why I did this is so that the students could see these different types of stems in isolation, so it's not so overwhelming. Please cut out each one of these sections of your page, mount them on tag board, and coil them together so that you have a little flip book to choose different types of stems your students can make their snappy endings with. It's a snappy ending chart that you can mount on tag board and display for your students to look at all the different ways that you can write a snappy ending. So notice we have ask a question and with an emotional statement. I have 12 different types of snappy endings displayed here for your students. In order to write these snappy endings and understand how to teach these to your students, I have a separate video for you to refer to for writing hooks and snappy endings. Please go to that video to understand how to use this chart and the other tools that I have for a snappy ending. So here we have my organizational system for all the tools that you will utilize in order to write informative explanatory text using an introduction, body, and conclusion.